Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I want to ask something, sir.
Something? Ask you something?
Question, sir, question.
Ask question.
Sir, if the all trees will absorb the nutrients from the soil, after the absorbing from the soil, the nutrients will not finish, sir.
No. They will not finish.
Why, sir?
Because nutrients will be keep joining in the soil in a cyclical manner. They are called biogeochemical cycles. In the nature, always biogeochemical cycle of each and every compound is taking place. Nitrogen that is used by the plants, okay, it is actually coming from atmosphere. So whatever the nitrogen that comes and join the soil from the atmosphere, same level will be joining back the atmosphere, right? So in class 9th you are going to learn biogeochemical cycles. In that, what you are going to learn is most of the nutrients that are absorbed by the plants will be keep getting joining the soil and moving away from the soil in a cyclical manner, right? These cycles are known as biogeochemical cycles. Any more doubts? Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Ask.
I have a doubt.
Ask. Doubts are most welcome. Ask, sir. You told you were having doubt.
Yes, sir.
Who is this?
Sir,
Please tell the name before you ask your doubt.
yes, sir. Changes around us, sir.
Huh?
Changes around us.
I am not asking chapter title. Iva, I am asking your name.
My name is Puneshlok, sir.
Punyashloka, Punyashloka aska.
A drawing sheet changes when you draw a picture on it.
Yes.
Can you reverse this change? Sir, what we must write it?
Generally, it is not possible, no? Okay.
Yes, sir. If we write with pen, it is not reversible, sir. If we write with the pencil, it can be reversible.
Yes, sir. But what you said, painting, na? Painting means generally you use some colors and all.
No, sir. Drawing, sir.
Just drawing means, yeah, you need to ask immediate another question. Either drawing made by pencil or color pencils or sketch pen or marker, all those things you have to ask. Based on that, you can answer whether it is reversible or irreversible. Generally, drawing, that word will be considered as with paint. Okay? With some paints only you have made drawing like that, it is considered. And the drawing that is made on the paper cannot be reversed. It is irreversible. Right? Okay.
Sir, and another, observe preparation of dishes at your home. Identify two changes that can be reversed.
What are they? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Observe preparation of dishes at your home. Identify two changes that can be reversed.
Boiling water. When you boil water, okay, it will become hot. When you keep it back, it will become normal. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Hot milk to cold milk. Huh?
Sir, tell me to off the mic.
Huh?
Sir, can Prithvi's mic
Your voice is breaking.
Sir, why can Prithvi's mic, sir?
Why take wood is?
No, sir. He is telling that K-Prabhu's mic is off.
Sir, boiling water is one change, sir, and another change is which, sir?
Generally, see, boiling of milk or heating of any substance. These things only, making heat and again bringing them to back to normal temperature, can be considered as reversible at your kitchen, right? And
Yes, sir.
evaporation of water and condensation, again it is reversible change, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Then if you keep
Sir,
water
I
in the
have a doubt,
fridge, it
sir.
will
Can you
freeze.
join
After
meeting?
some
And
time,
again,
so it
yeah,
will
he
get.
telling like keeping the water in the fridge so that it will become ice, and again when you bring it back it will become normal liquid. These are all the things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but mostly in
Sir,
kitchen whatever the dishes that we make, they cannot be reversed back. If you cook the rice, you cannot get the raw rice from that cooked rice. If you make chapati, you cannot get flour back, right? If you make flour from the wheat, you can't get the flour back. All the thing changes, they are irreversible only, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so making something hot and again bringing it to cool, that can be only considered as a reversible change in the kitchen, right?
sir,
Okay. Okay,
sir,
sir.
I am Nitin Roy Katti, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ask.
सर सर मैंने कभी सर आई हैव गॉन टू द फिश मार्केट सर वन टाइम
Okay.
I am going from the fish market. I have saw the people are removing something from on the fish with a wood log, sir. What is that, sir?
Scales. Fish body is covered with many types of scales. Those scales are removed. That wood log will be having some nails also attached to it. Have you seen them? That wooden log
No, sir.
is having some nails also attached to it. Have you seen them?
No, sir. I have not seen.
They remove the scales from the fish because we don't eat the scales. We have to remove all the scales, right? Okay. Then only that fish will be just used for cooking, right? Yes. Any more doubts? Right. In the last class, we have learned about what are different joints that are present. Ball and socket joint, pivotal joint, hinge joint, and fixed joint. Right. Next, we started discussing about skeleton. What is skeleton? The bony framework present inside of our body that gives us a shape to our body. Right? The bony framework that gives a shape to our body, it is called skeleton. And we can see our skeleton through which rays? X-rays. Right? If you take adult human body, it contains around 206 bones. Whereas if you take the newly born baby, infant, how many bones are present? Around 300 to 305 bones are present in a newly born baby. In infant, 305 bones are there. As the infant grows, some of the bones they fuse with each other and they make single bones, so that the number gets reduced to 206 by the time the infant becomes into adult, right? And our body, just below the second button, you can feel a strong central bone is there. That bone is known as chest bone. That bone is known as chest bone. Scientifically, it is called sternum. Right? This chest bone, it is the front side bone, and back side, and this chest bone is continuous bone, and it is continuous bone, and our back side, the bumpy structure can be seen. When you just bend, you can see a central bumpy structure, right? This central bumpy structure present in the back side is known as backbone. Backbone. Okay, scientifically, the backbone is also known as vertebral column. Vertebral column. Right? So, connecting the chest bone and backbone, some side bones are present from here to back. Right? So, if we take the chest bone and backbone, connecting to it, some side bones are present. Right? And around 12 pairs of side bones, they join the chest bone and the backbone. 12 pairs of side bones, which are known as ribs. The side bones, they join the chest bone and the backbone. So by being attached to chest bone in the front side and attached to backbone in the back side, the ribs form a box-like structure. The ribs form a box-like structure. So from front side, if you see, you can see like this structure. And backside backbone will be present. Right? So this box-like structure that is made by ribs is known as rib cage. This rib cage, rib cage protects the very important organs like heart and lungs. Okay, the heart and lungs are protected by the rib cage. Right? And our backbone, it is not made up of one single rod-like structure. Instead, it is made up of many small bones. The small bones that are present in our backbone are called vertebrae. Vertebrae are the small bones in the backbone. Vertebrae are the small bones in the backbone. How many vertebrae are there? 33. 33 vertebrae are there. So, 12 pairs of ribs, 33 vertebrae are present. Okay. Why the backbone would not be made? Why the backbone is not made of single rod-like structure? What is the benefit of having many small bones in the backbone? If our backbone would have been made by a single rod-like structure, then we would not be able to bend forward or backward or sideways. As the backbone is made up of several vertebrae, that is 33 vertebrae. Okay, we are able to bend forward, backward, and sidewards. Right? So, having small bones in the vertebral column or backbone enables us to bend forward, backward, and sidewards. Next, shoulder bones. The bones that are standing at the position of our shoulders are called shoulder bones. The shoulder bones, they are joined with the bones of our hind arms. Shoulder bones, they join with the bones of our hind arms with a ball and socket joint. below our stomach, some bones enclose that portion. The portion below our stomach is enclosed by some specific type of bones. Those bones are called pelvic bones. Those bones are called pelvic bones. What are pelvic bones? Bones that enclose the portion below our stomach. The portion below our stomach are known as pelvic bones. Pelvic bones join with the thigh bones. Pelvic bone, they join with thigh bones. Like how shoulder bones join with hind arm bone, pelvic bones, they join with thigh bones. Same type of joint is there, that is ball and socket joint. Next, the bony portion of our head is known as skull. Okay, and cranium is part of the skull. The bony portion of the head is known as skull, and cranium is part of the skull. And inside the cranium, brain is present. Skull, bony portion of head. Cranium, box like part present in the top of skull. Box like bony part present in the top of the skull. In this bony part, in this cranium, what is present? Brain is present. Our brain is present in cranium. So skull encloses and protects our brain in this bony box like a cranium. So up to now we have discussed about different types of bones. Other than bones, some additional parts are there in our skeleton which are not as hard as the bone, but they give their specific role in protecting the bones itself. The additional parts of the skeleton which are not as hard as the bone and which can be slightly bent, are known as cartilage. Additional parts of the skeleton that are not as hard as the bones. Parts of skeleton that are not as hard as bone. Right? And which can be bent are known as cartilage. So cartilage, where is it present? Cartilage is present between the earlobes and upper parts, above the earlobes, outer portion of nose, and very importantly, as coverings on the ends of our bones at the joints. Where does cartilage present? So in the nose, in the earlobes, above the parts of earlobes bones, all these things you remember. But see, if you take two bones that join together with a joint, two bones are there. This is one bone and this is another bone. Right? Here, the ends of the bones, they are having cartilaginous coverings. The ends of the bones are having cartilaginous coverings. What is the essence of this cartilaginous coverings of the ends of the bones? What do they do? What is the help that the cartilaginous covering of these ends of the bones? So this is cartilage and this is also cartilage. Joints allow us to make movements. As we make movements, these bones will be rubbing like this now, right? When these bones are rubbing like this, the bone may get powdered and it will be lost. So by having cartilaginous coverings at the ends of the bones, our bones are protected at the joints from the frictional force during the movement. As the bones move by rubbing with each other at joints, the bone may get corroded. So why the bone may get corroded? Because of the friction. If two things are rubbing with each other, some friction is generated. That friction may cause erosion or degeneration of that particular part that is rubbing with each other. So bones, if they are getting degenerated fast, then what will happen? We cannot make movements and we will get pain also. So in order to avoid that one, in order to protect the ends of the bones from the corrosion because of the friction, these cartilaginous covering will be helping. So finally, how can we conclude about our skeleton? Our skeleton is made up of many bones and some joints and cartilage. So finally, our skeleton is made up of. Our skeleton is made up of bones, joints and cartilage. Right? Our skeleton is made of bones, joints and cartilage. Right? But do our bones move on their own or something else is making them to move? Do our bones move on their own or something else is making them to do? Bones cannot move on their own. There is some special tissue present in our body that is actually responsible for all types of movements. In our body, either internal, organ, inside digestive tract, some movements will be taking place. And outside, externally, our hands and legs are moving. Means bones are moving. And these all movements are caused by one special structure or tissue, that is muscle. What makes the bones move the way they do? Muscle is the tissue or the structure that makes the bones move the way that they do. Muscle. Muscles important property called able to contract and relax. Muscles can contract and relax. Muscles can contract and relax. With this contraction and relaxation, the muscles make the bones to move. Always attached to one bone, a pair of muscles is present. Always attached to a bone, two muscles are present, or a pair of muscles is present, because muscles always work in pairs. If one muscle of the pair is contracting, the opposite muscle will be relaxing, and if the opposite muscle is contracting, the previous muscle will be relaxing. Likewise, by showing contraction by one muscle and relaxation by other muscle, the bone will be made to move in that direction. To which direction that the bone move, to whichever the direction contraction takes place, in that direction. So a pair of muscles is there. Out of that, one muscle contract, one muscle relax. Bone always bend towards the contracted muscle side. Bone always bends towards the contracted muscle side. When it wants to move back, the opposite muscle contract and this previous muscle will relax. Right? When muscle contracts, it becomes shorter, stiffer and thicker and pulls the bone in its direction. And to move the bone in opposite direction, the first muscle relaxes and the opposite muscle will contract. Then the bone is pulled in the direction of the opposite muscle. In this way, when one muscle is contracted, the opposite muscle relaxes and the bone is pulled in the direction of the contracted muscle. A muscle can only pull, remember, it cannot push. The muscle cannot push. So, to move a bone, a pair of muscles have to work together. A pair of muscles have to work together. Right?